back a little bit.
That's good. All right, shalom, shalom,
Shalom, shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
We double honors the apostles and elders, salutations to Akim, pushing the work of truth and sincerity. All right, it's brother Nana.
Shakabar.
All right, the lesson today is wait. All right, I say, the Lord, the standard shall be lifted. Okay, and this is in regard, to Jake preparing for the times to come. Okay, and simply Jake is talking about war. Put on the combat boots, but they ain't prepared. Okay, because this war is a spiritual one. All right, ain't gonna be no guns, no knives. All right, like in a conventional war that you can use to endure this thing. Okay, it's gonna take your spirit, simply your spirit. Okay, Lord willing, that's what we're gonna convey. So we can start at 2 Corinthians 16. In fact, we can start at 16 and 17, just so we can make it scenery.
All right, this 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
Right, because Ezra got to see our times. He got to see Jacob's trouble. He got to see the end of the world. Okay, yeah.
It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear.
Yeah. So even the leaders gonna stand in fear. Okay? Because what's coming is a spiritual sweeping of wickedness, basically. All right, to sum it all up. Okay? And all the foundations of the world right now is held together through wickedness. Okay? And what's coming is misery. The beginning of sorrows, as it explains in Matthew the 24th chapter as well. So how are we supposed to endure these things? Are we supposed to prep? Are we supposed to get guns? As we see Jake doing it. These Israelites, these other Israelites, they're preparing themselves. We seeing them, bringing the guns to camp. Going to the gun range, and all of that stuff. But we know that's carnal because that's of the flesh.
I got a precept. It's Romans 8 and 7. It said, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be.
Right. So what's coming is a spiritual wave of righteousness. All right. And it's going to come by way of scourges, which we just mentioned: famine, plague, great death. All of these things are going to touch the earth, so to speak. All right. And the only way you're going to be able to make it through it is with a spiritual mind. You see, I like to liken the scourges that's coming as the righteousness of the Most High. And so you got to be in tune with the Spirit. And if you're not, you're gonna get got. Simple and plain.
Well, I'm gonna read this. Say, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High.
So in these times, if you're using the flesh to advance or to endure some type of way, some type of extreme way, all right, like going out, pillaging, robbing, using the gun, because it says those that live by the sword shall die by the sword. Yep. When you go into that word live, it's talking about sustain your own life. So if you have to go out and use a gun to sustain your life, being the aggressor, what have you, all right, you're in the line of fire. You're not pleasing the Most High, basically.
It says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit.
That's right. These words is what's set up to comfort us. All right, these words of life. Okay, and that's what we entered into when we were chosen. All right, to gain this understanding, this wisdom, because this wisdom is going to lead us to a kingdom. You see?
Say, if so be that the Spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, dwell in you, Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his.
That's right. So we gotta walk in the spirit.
So y'all is not, you other camps, man, y'all is not of Yahweh Shai because, like the brother mentioned, man, y'all bringing guns to camp, right? Y'all being carnal minded, all right? Y'all doing nigga shit, man,
Right, and then pushing it to these impressionable, oncoming followers, basically.
Yep.
You know, but you know the sticks fall where they may, and you know if they, like the scripture say, my sheep hear my voice. So you know, certain men are set up to be false prophets and to gather in the bad ones. And you have the righteous ones, you know, that gather in the goods.
That's it.
So, go back to 2 Ezra 16, 18.
It's back in 2 Ezra 16, 18. It says, let me read this 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? That's Ezra's, reincarnation, okay? Because, Ezra's, he on this earth right now.
Yeah, but he got to see it back.
We got to see it back then. It says, the beginning of sorrow and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
Right. So the powers are going to stand in fear, people.
The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
Right, and that's what he's saying. What shall I do? All right. Well, we just explained, and we're going to explain further. Ephesians the 6th chapter. Okay, you got to be in the spirit. You got to use the spirit. You can't endure by carnal means, so to speak. We mean basically being an aggressive. Using a gun to sustain yourself. Now if you got weapons, all right, for home security, that's a different story. You're not just gonna let anybody barge in and take what's yours. But we know things are set up so that when the times come, those troops come, all right, they're gonna come like a flood. And yes, some of us may go into detainment, however you want to say it. That's set up. The scriptures say that. Revelations 2 and 10. Endure to the end. Okay. Jake want to be heroes and
Superman shit.
Yeah. Okay. This ain't that type of war. And that's the point. Jake is pushing that militant spirit, with the guns and stuff like that. That ain't the war. This ain't a conventional war that we fight by conventional means. We fight by spiritual means. And that's leaning on the Heavenly Father for everything. That's trusting in Him.
And see, Jake can understand that Esau was blessed with the sword. All right, he was blessed with the sword because, Isaac, blessed with the sword, man. And Jake, on the other hand, he blessed with spiritual, power.
He was a plain
man.
And we got the blessing of the kingdom.
Got the blessing of the kingdom. So why would you use his blessing? I mean, like you mentioned, like you got a house, you got kids, stuff like that, it's good to protect your home, but not going outside, walking around, like going to camp strapped up and shit, like a nigga. But one thing, protect your property, that's another story. But when all hell breaks loose, that's the point. When all hell breaks loose and the flood comes, the martial law troops come, then that's when Jake gonna wanna, that's when Jake wanna, get into a little all-out gun battle and shit, man.
Yeah, because when the times become dire, because there's gonna be shortages, the scripture say, my men shall eat. Some to the extent of that,
my servant shall eat.
My servant shall eat. But the point is, being an aggressor, pushing that type of spirit to others is off. Pushing that militant spirit, you gotta get your gun, you gotta buy bullets, you gotta prep. That's off. All right, and that shows that you trusted in your flesh and not trusted in the Lord. And that was the point.
Yeah. Verse 19 it say, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as a scourge for a minute.
Right. So these things are sent as punishments for change. All right. Essential. Okay. So, and that's going to be the times that we live in. All right. We're going to see scourges, punishments happening all over the Lord's judgment and His righteousness.
It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness,
Right.
nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Right. So these people are not going to be mindful. Okay.
They ain't watching that.
And there's still going to be mass confusion among these people in the world. Right. And really it's going to be survival. The thing is, we got to endure by ways of spiritual means. Okay. Because this is what's going to get us through the battle. You can jump to verse 39.
Verse 39. All right, this is back in 2nd Ezra 16:39. It says, even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. 38. All right, this 38 verse, it says, and when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours from birth. Want to go up one more?
Yeah.
Salaki. Verse 36, it says, behold, the word of the Lord receive it. Believe not the gold, believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So the Lord's not gonna hold back the plagues, man. All the hell and the wrath of the Lord's gonna unleash it. Because His word go back not void, man. All right, because whatever the Lord say, He promised He gonna do this, man. All right, it's prophecy. Yep. It says that when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass a womb, which pains when the child coming forth, they slack not a moment.
Right, and that child is coming. The child is Yahweh. That child is to be delivered. Okay, is the Lord. Yep. Right, in His people. Okay, because ultimately that's what we're waiting on. Because that's what the world is. That's why it's advancing as fast as it is. Because the Lord is coming. The point is in the next verse. Yeah.
It says, even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Right. Verse 40. And then 40 is the point slide.
It says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle.
Yeah, so it says, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. Okay, what battle? All right, the battle that we got to face dealing with these devils. Okay,
Spiritual battle.
because though they are carnal, though they do have, they fight all their wars by conventional means, and psychological tactics, military tactics. All right, that's the battle. Okay, so Slaki, keep going.
It says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even the pilgrims upon the earth.
Yeah, be even as pilgrims upon earth. All right, because pilgrim, all right, they don't really hold on to anything. Okay, they pick up and move, so to speak. All right, essentially they pick up and move.
Like you seen that movie, The Road, when it was only the father and the son, was pilgrims, man. They was going house to house.
They had to keep moving.
Yeah, they had to keep moving, man, because danger is like all over. Can't stay in one spot. So whatever spot they went to, it was food, they eat, stay for like a few minutes and leave. Gotta keep moving, man.
And you can apply that scripture. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I should feel no evil.
Yep.
Because that's going to be highly prevalent in the times we're going into. Okay, and that's why it's calling us to be like pilgrims.
Yep.
And call us to be militants. And call us to, gird up your loins and get your weapons of war. No, because the Lord is about to go before us, and He's about to do the damage, and He's going to lift that standard. We just have to trust in Him. All right, which is big. That's the biggest problem among our people. They don't trust. They don't have any faith. All right, and that's why they would employ carnal tactics, carnal means. But you're going to lose fighting that battle. All right, you're going to lose fighting that battle. Yeah, with weapons. Okay, so that's it. 2 Corinthians 10:4. The scriptures plainly show you what your conventional weapons of war are. All right.
This is 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." This is one I was looking for. It says 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, "For the weapon of our warfare are not carnal."
And carnal means to be fleshly. All right. And essentially that just means, if you want to look it up, yeah, it's better that way. You know?
Yeah, like you're right, Khan. It goes back to Greek word sarkikos, right? It means fleshly, carnal, having a nature of flesh under control of an animal.
All right, so it's really the animalistic
appetites.
Yep, the appetite. You know, because your animalistic nature would kick in, then
right.
You can in survival mode. And animals act off of instinct.
Yep.
Okay. We have a cognitive process that goes on in our mind where we can use wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
See, we don't have to use instinct.
It's governed by mere human nature, not by the Spirit of the Most High.
Right. Mere human nature, and not by the Spirit of the Most High. So we want to be in the Spirit of the Lord and not using our human nature. See, and that's why these guys out here, that know they're Israelites, that teach, even go on the highways and byways, they're not using the Spirit of the Most High. Okay, because their whole game plan is one of carnal means.
They don't have no faith.
Right. And that's what this thing is grounded in. It's grounded in faith.
Matter of fact, speaking of faith,
Ephesians 6:10.
matter of fact, I get Ephesians. Because I had it too. Alright, this is Ephesians. This is Ephesians 6 and
It's like 10.
yeah, Con. Ephesians 6 and 10 say, "Finally, my brother, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might."
Yep. Because the power of his might is righteousness. Okay. And that's raining down as we speak. And what it's doing is it's drawing all the nations together for to bring about that World War III. All right. And it's getting all these nations, firstly, to get all these nations together so they can bring in the new digital currency, okay, to bring together their new world orders so they can finalize it, so they can introduce the RFID chip, which is the MOTB, okay, then bring them into that World War III, okay. So the Spirit is working. All right, that's the Lord's righteousness. Okay, bringing about His will.
God, it says, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil."
When you go into the word wiles, it's methodia. All right, sort of like methods. Okay, if you want, you can go into it. It's crafty. All right, it's craft. Okay, all His plans.
Wiles, like you mentioned, methodonia, right? Methodia, right? Say cunning, arts, deceit, craft, and trickery.
So his main tool is deceit, is to lie. That's why we call him the devil. Okay?
Deceit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he lie in wait, man, to make you go off. Nope. Say, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Right, so we wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is not a fleshly fight, but we wrestle against principalities. Because his main tool is deception. You know, as the scripture says in Matthew, it says that they might deceive the very elect. All right? So much so that they may deceive the very elect. So their tool, the main tool is deception. Okay? And you have to be spiritually prepared to deal with that, which is going to say. That's why I said put on the whole armor of the Most High.
God. It's on Ephesians 6:12. Say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Right, because the rulers of the darkness of this world, all right, they're dealing with witchcraft, they're dealing in left-hand magic, okay? They're dealing in sorcery.
Okay. They sacrifice. They sacrifice children. You know what I'm saying? They sacrifice, you know, other people. Yeah, they sacrifice, drink blood, all kind of stuff, man. Like
that's their power.
That's their power.
That's what they have.
That's why you see like missing children, you know.
And if you're not spiritual, you can succumb to that deception. All right, the left hand side. Okay, and so that's why we're prompted. All right, beseech to what? To be spiritual. Okay, put on the whole armor of the Lord, which is applying the wisdom that's being instructed.
He said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
See, that's all it is. That's what it is. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. You see, and a lot of Israelites don't understand there's a huge spiritual part about this. A lot of jakes just go out and, you know, it's an Israelite thing, throw on a garment. It is curse out the so-called white man, is way more than that. It is way more than that. All right? These devils have, for some time, for a long time, have been dealing in the left-hand side of sorcery, magic, witchcraft, what have you. Okay? And they using deception as their main tool. That's why this whole thing, you know, the pandemic is going the way it's going. All right? And they just keep blasting the airwaves with lies. Okay? Why? So that they get in hopes of getting you to fear to fall right into their plans. You got
it. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand.
Right. So, you know, we take on the whole armor by what? Applying what we know, using the wisdom, and you know, being grounded with the wisdom that we know. Okay? By reading and trusting in the Lord. That is our biggest tool. Trusting in the Lord. All right.
I got a precept. This is Isaiah 33 and 5. Start at 5. Say, the Lord is exalted. The Lord Yahweh Shai is exalted. For he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. That wisdom and knowledge shall be a stability of our times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
The fear of the Lord. All right? And that's one of the main tools that you need. All right? Because that fear will have you, that makes you walk the path, so to speak. That keeps you on the path. That fear won't allow you to be deceived. Okay? It's the same fear that a child has, you know, with their parents, the respect and reverence. You know, dad say don't do that, don't do that. Because ultimately, the father knows what's best for the child, not the child knowing best for himself. The child don't know anything because it hasn't developed a brain yet. We haven't developed a spiritual brain to be on the level that the Lord is on. We're trying to captivate that and mirror that. The best way we can do that is follow what the Lord is saying. Okay?
Yeah, because stability means steadfast and stand firm in his word, in his truth. That's right. Because the prophecies is popping off these pages because we already know what all kind of hell is going to break loose. So that's why, we used to say the knowledge of wisdom shall be a stability of our time. We're going to bug the fuck out. We're not going to bug out because for the simple fact we already know what's going to come.
That's right.
We already know. Because majority of these people going to flip out, man. The ones that's carnal as hell, the one that got the guns and shit, trying to fight against it, they going to fucking bug out.
That's right.
Yeah, they going to bug the hell out, man. Like, they don't have the spirituality. Period.
Yeah, you can take this one to 17. Oh, what?
Ephesians.
Take it to 18. Yeah.
Alright. Jump back to it. It's on Ephesians 6 and 18 say praying always with all prayer.
Start 14.
14? You want to start on 14 again?
Yeah, 14 did read it.
Alright, come on. It's back in the seat. Ephesians 6 and 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
I think shy goes into being fastened. And so our profession, we're supposed to be within our profession. Being professionals in our profession. And that's being ready at all times. All right. And of course, and that's what the elders stress. That's what the Spirit has always been stressing.
Yep.
Studying, fasting, praying, which is going to be
Because it says, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all fiery darts of the wicked.
Right. So it's the faith that's going to have you to quench all the ammo, the fiery darts, all right, that they're shooting at us. It's your faith, okay, that's going to protect you, all right, because they're going to shoot at the foundation of what? What we believe, okay? And as long as we ground it and we understand, we know this is the truth and we truly believe, all right, then, okay, we're building that shield, okay?
You got it says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High.
Simply put,
It's the sword of the Spirit, man. The word.
it's what you sincere Akim have been doing, all right, pretty much out the gate, really trusting in the process, taking your time with the understanding, because this book takes time, it takes time, it really does,
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit.
Yeah, always prayer. Apostle Ricardo always makes that evident that prayer is, important. Okay.
It says praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
That's right. Now some might say that, this is the punking out route.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is the prudent route. This is the wise route. Okay, this is the straight gate. Okay, because it's easy just to mount up. Get your buddies together and buy up guns and bullets and all this stuff, other stuff, which they sending armies through, man. All right, they sending armies through, and they got weapons to see through walls. All right.
They on top of that, it's a lot. They got invisible shields too. Like they put on, like it's sort of like,
yeah, I know which one you I see.
Yeah, it's called invisible shield. I'm saying the shield, but they got something that they put on, and they camouflage themselves invisible. Like they stand by a tree, you don't know they by the tree. You know what I'm saying? So that's
drones.
Yeah, they got you. Yeah,
they got drone. Now they got the drone dogs. Okay, they got all sorts of things, man. You look it up. You go on to what is that? The name of the company?
DARPA.
Yeah, DARPA, and then you got Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics. Yep.
So
they got robots, man.
Yeah, you look that up. And just
Boston Dynamics. Yeah, they got robots. You know what I'm saying? They got robots and robot dogs, man. You know, so they making robots and robot dogs, man. You can't stop this devil, man.
That's right.
You can't stop this devil carnally. So it's best for you to be spiritual. And then on top of that, you know, the Lord can bless you with spiritual powers, man.
That's the next precept. Zephaniah 3 and 8.
Yep.
And that's the whole point of the lesson, you know.
And if you keep doing what you're doing,
you know, say the standard should be lifted. So we gotta wait on the Lord.
Yep.
At the end of the day.
Zephaniah 3 and 8. Yeah, man. Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, therefore wait upon me, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai, until the day that I rise up to pray.
Because these nations, our enemies, they're prey to the Lord. They're really prey. All right? Okay? Esau is not the apex predator. Yahweh Shai is. All right? Now, in this world, this is his world, but this is the end of his world. Okay? In Proverbs 16:4, you know, basically the Lord has reserved the wicked for the day of evil. Okay? So don't be dismayed. All right? It's the Lord that's the apex predator. Okay? And he's going to show that. All right? Once he's going to spring that trap for Esau. Esau he's going to think it's sweet. And what? He's going to do what he did to Pharaoh. He's going to do what he did. He's going to do to Esau what he did to Pharaoh. All right? Yeah.
It says, for my determination is to gather the nations.
See? And what the Lord is doing is luring these nations in. Just like he lured Pharaoh and his army in the Red Sea. Jephthah, stupid. All right? Which that was a miracle. Okay?
Yeah, he said he didn't believe Moses part of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
No, it's through the spirit of Yahweh.
Yeah,
It's through Yahweh. He showed Yahweh gave him the power to do that, man.
Thank you.
He got a rod.
And he stretched forth his rod, and then it says the Lord parted the sea.
Parted the sea, man.
On Moses' command.
On Moses' command. And then who on Joshua and
well, I won't say Moses' command, but at the sign of Moses doing that, that's when the Lord acted.
Because it was like two brothers holding him up. As he was parting the Red Sea, two brothers was holding him up.
Well, yeah,
there's a story in there that I read. It was
yeah, I gotta read that account again.
Yeah.
Two brothers. It might have been.
Yeah, it was holding Moses up.
I know during the first war when he was fighting against the Amalekites, the brothers held him up.
Brothers, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I remember that.
Yeah.
I think he was by himself.
He was, yeah.
When he stretched forth
the rod, yeah. But on top of that, man, through the spirit, Yahweh Shai, yeah. You know, yeah.
So is that it? You can read it again.
Context back in Zephaniah 3 and 8 said, therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prayer. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdom and pour upon them my indignation, right? His righteous anger, nigga. All right. It says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
And the fire of the jealousy. All right. So the Lord is going to do valiantly, okay? And he's going to revenge the righteous blood that was spilled. Now this is the last precept, then we're going to close out. This is 1 Maccabees 3:19. Yeah.
Yeah, that count, man. Moses, man, was...
Yeah, it's an epic account.
It's an epic account.
You know, a nigga like one body in the lie, you know, to say, you know, blasphemous thing like that, man. It just shows you, like, really, Israel really don't know what they're talking about, and they really don't know the power of the Lord. You know, neither will they acknowledge it. So, but it is what it is. He's gonna be acknowledged by the saints, though. You know, he's gonna be glorified in the saints. So this is First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 19. It says, "For the victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven." All right. So the strength comes from heaven, and that's where our strength is going to come when this devil comes in like a flood. All right. When the survival, you know, it's survival time, when it's apocalypse time, or apocalyptic time. All right. That strength is going to come from heaven. It ain't going to come from whatever gun or whatever weapon you got in your closet. All right. Verse 20, it says, "They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us and our wives and children and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them." All right. And that's straight out of Judas Maccabees' mouth. Okay. And that's the faith you got to have. All right. You got to show forth the grit that our forefathers had. All right. Which we see time and time again when we read the scriptures. All right. That they stood with fortitude. Okay. And it had, sometimes it have you in awe. All right. Sometimes it has you like, wow, you know, these men, all right, they had real grit, you know, they were really men. All right. Okay. And that's what we have to be. All right. And mainly through faith. Okay. Because that's our main vehicle. Okay. You're not going to be able to fight those fiery darts and whatever the Esau is throwing at you, you know, by any type of carnal means. You know, so Lord willing is that lesson, unless you have something else. It's like,
oh, this is the last scripture. This is Luke 18:7 say, "And shall," Salakia. I'm start at 6. It said, "And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said, and shall not the Most High avenge his own elect,
yeah,
which cry day and night unto him?"
Right. Right. And the scriptures say for this purpose, I think it's in Psalms 9, like 12 to 12 verse. For this purpose had the Lord risen up for the poor. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's rising up for the lowly. All right, the ones that's being bullied, the one that's being trampled over. All right, he's gonna be our protector. The outworm Jacob. Let me get there.
Say he shall not. He said, "And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, through he bear along with him?"
Yeah, that's right. Though he bear along with him. Okay, so the Lord is hearing our cries. Okay, and when we die, Revelation 6 and 9, we're in the heavens complaining. All right, so the Lord can't ignore us because of what? He's sent forth his grace so that he may hear our prayers. Okay. So this is his move.
Yeah, it's one more. It says, "I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?"
Yeah, see? So he's going to revenge our enemies speedily. All right? He said America, Great Babylon, it's only going to take an hour.
Yeah, that's it.
You know? And overnight, people are going to lose it. Right? They're going to completely lose it overnight.
Yeah, because not the stability of our time, because they don't have the knowledge what's happening out here, man.
Yep, they're going to be perplexed. And the scriptures say they're going to be perplexed. They're not going to know where to turn, and they're not going to know what to do.
Yep.
What was the last word it said?
"I avenge them speedily."
Avenge them speedily, but it says,
"Shall I find faith on earth?"
yeah, to find faith on earth. So the Lord is looking for the faith.
Shall he find faith on earth?
He's looking for those. At that time, men, you know, the elect is going to have grit. All right, and the thing that's going to be on the forefront of their minds is what? The Lord, salvation. You know, crying out. You know, I was right now lying right. All right, deliver me, O Lord. That's going to be on the forefrontlets of their mind, man. All right. So this is Isaiah 41:14. We'll close on this one. I'll start at 13. 11. This is Isaiah 41 and 11. And it says, behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Verse 12, it says, thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. Okay, verse 13, for I, the Lord, thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Verse 14, fear not thou worm Jacob. All right, because that's what we are. We're in a state of worm. All right, if we had a spirit animal, it'll be the worm.
Right. Lowest of the low.
Yeah. if we had a spirit animal, it'd be the worm as of right now, because we at the bottom, right?
That's it.
It says, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh power, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The Holy One of Israel. All right. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, meaning what? Governments.
Right.
And beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. All right? And that's what's going to happen. And the Lord is going to make us a sharp threshing instrument, meaning that we gonna take the nations out, okay? And it ain't going to be with no guns. It's going to be laser beams, chariots, all right, and asses on fire, and people turning into powder dust, okay?
Into a battle axe. You're going to use as a battle axe, right?
That's right. And we know that in the ancient world that David was able to leap walls and break lions' jaws. We already know what's in store for now.
Like Samson had a jawbone.
Yeah,
Your ass with a jawbone.
Hey, with that, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying to Akim, Aqua, whoever tuned in, Wada. And we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors the apostles, elders. Great millstone salutations to Akim, pushing work, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.
Bible Ball, Shalom.